Are you finding it more challenging to keep your people engaged, and sometimes they're not turning up to work and there's a lot more sickness going on around the world? Well, that's pretty common right now, and burnout is on the rise. So what I want to do this week is I want to talk to you about how you as the leader can lessen this problem for yourself and for your people. Hi, this is Grant Herbert, VUCA Leadership and Sustainable Performance Coach. And today I want to continue our conversation around these relationship management competencies by helping you to understand how to coach sustainable performance. As I said, right now, there's a lot of burnout going on around the world. People are feeling more stressed and tired and disengaged. The presenteeism statistics have gone up in the latest Gallup poll, where people are actively disengaged in bigger numbers and looking for other places to work. The quiet resignation has now got a lot more noisy. People are reassessing where they are and what they're prepared to give just to earn an income. It's an epidemic across the globe right now. And with attraction and retention being in the worst place that it's been for a long time, as a leader, this is creating more and more problems for you. And therefore, it's heaping in more stress for you. And this isn't just today about helping your people and building those relationships. There's some gems in there for you as well. Because just because we're the leader, it doesn't make us exempt from having all these challenges. So before we get into this, we've got to understand about this shift. When I talk about performance in the 9 crucial shifts in that professional area of leadership, I talk about going from a shift of high performance to sustainable performance, pushing yourself long hours, week in, week out, month in, month out, year in, year out for a long period of time is not sustainable. And what we need to do as a leader for ourselves, and then modeling and teaching it to our teams, is to shift the mindset around that, to make sure that we understand that sometimes we are going to need to work at that high performance level. We need to maintain a healthy brain and body balance so that we can sustain our performance over a long period of time. The reason most people burn out is they just give. And they get to a point that finite resource that we have in our energy dissipates and we give up. And that's what it's all about today. Today is about being able to take people on a journey, but make sure they've got enough energy to be who they need to be in every area of their life. If you do that as a leader, that's going to create sticky teams where people want to stay because they go, this is an environment I want to work in. This is allowing me to be who I am in every area of life. It's not just about swapping hours for dollars and giving my pound of flesh. It's a more holistic approach to my well-being. So getting that for yourself first and making sure that you understand what it is to sustain your performance and how you need to look after yourself and exercise self-approval and self-care and all the things we've talked about is the first step. The second thing we need to do as leaders is have a shift in our thinking from performance management to performance coaching. It's not about managing people. People do not want to be managed, told what to do, fall in line to a set of guidelines and rules. That's not how most people operate. We manage process, but we lead people. And instead of once a year sitting down with people and ticking boxes and telling them what they've done well and what they need to improve on, is not the way that a leader works in today's world. It's about having that regular relationship of check-ins to make sure that everything's going okay, not waiting until it's too late. where people are just being judged on their performance for salary reviews and all these things. You see, performance appraisals, no one wants to do them, no one wants to receive them. They're a negative environment as it is. So what we want to do is we want to shift our thinking from performance management to taking people on a journey of support and accountability, which is all about coaching. Then when we look at that and we learn how to have coaching conversations and how to be a mentor to people, what we can do is make sure that we look for the signs, that we have a conversation around well-being, that we help people to set boundaries. And in effect, what we're doing is passing the baton of the things that we're taking on ourselves. Now, it's not a matter of being perfect before you start helping others. It's about having casual conversations that tell them things that you're doing that are working well. It's about being present and looking in and making sure that they are setting healthy boundaries for themselves. It's very refreshing to see around the world now large organizations that are cutting off people's access to emails out of hours, where they're setting an environment where people are not able to damage their health and well-being by being plugged in all the time. Now, this is great, but what's really going to work is a leader who fosters an environment where everyone looks after everybody, where everyone's got your back, where everyone has that accountability to be able to speak the truth into people's lives in a loving and caring way. And as a leader, to be able to coach the performance of another person is a key and critical skill. Now, I'm not expecting you to do what I do. This is what I do for a living. If I was to try and do what it is that you do, I would give it a go, and I wouldn't perhaps be able to do it all that well. It would be something I'd have to learn over and over and over with the repetition, just like I've done as a sustainable performance coach. It's about just the little things, the 1%ers that help people to be able to sustain that performance. It's about being able to pull people in and tell them things that you're noticing. It's about setting and fostering a culture that says, if I see somebody that's working too hard and long hours and pushing themselves for too long, that I'll speak up. But coaching sustainable performance as a leader, and then having that as something that everybody looks after each other with, means that your team is going to be able to be who they need to be to get you where it is that you need to go in this fast-paced, ever-changing super VUCA world. So shift one is to move away from having that performance management methodology to one that is more conversational and relational, one that helps the individuals and therefore the collective to move forward together in a healthy and sustainable way. Well, that's it from me for another week. Join me again next week as we continue this conversation around all things relationships and leadership by helping you to learn how to build a deeper level of trust with your team. I'll see you then.